that's what's in.
Good morning and welcome to Dodger Blue Dream Daily, the quick turnaround format of my documentary made in real time as the baseball season unfolds. I'm Richard Parks III, and it is Sunday, October 20th, 2024. The Yankees beat the Guardians last night, and they are advancing on from the NLCS to the World Series, which means that if the Dodgers win tonight or tomorrow night, we're going to get a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, something I have wanted my entire life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got a baseball game to play tonight at Dodger Stadium at 5:08, very specifically Pacific time. It's Game 6 of the National League Championship Series, Dodgers versus Mets. This episode will give you everything you need to know about that game, plus a little bit of my take in 5-ish minutes. So let's get into it with a focus on the pitching situation, because that's what's in. You can just feel it, I can just taste it, it's in the air. Here's the deal. The starting pitching matchup for today's game is a repeat of what we saw for Game 2 of this series on Monday. It's left-hander Sean Manaea for the Mets, and for the boys in blue, it's a bullpen game. That means we don't have a traditional starter going. We're just throwing the kitchen sink at it. Dave Roberts described it as an all-hands-on-deck scenario. The only guys being held back are Walker Buehler, who will start Game 7 if it gets there, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because our expensive little baby prince needs his rest. And if you recall, Monday did not work out. That game ended in a 7-3 loss, and Manaea was very good. The MV3, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman all went 0 for that day. On our side on Monday, Ryan Brazier, our opener, gave up a leadoff home run to Francisco Lindor, and Landon Knack, who was meant to eat up most of the innings that day, gave up a grand slam to Mark Vientos. It was a disappointing loss, and we had a handful of big opportunities with runners on base, but we didn't cash in. It was like we were a swing away from getting back into that one, and it just didn't happen. And you might be thinking, why are we throwing a bullpen game again if it went so poorly the first time around? This is a super important game. We gotta win this one. I want the Yankees in the World Series. And to that I say, it doesn't sound like you've been listening to this show or following the Dodgers season very closely, or for the past few years, because number one, most of the starters we went into this season expecting to see in October are all on the injured list. Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, Gavin Stone, even rookies like River Ryan, not to mention Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin. All these guys are hurt. And number two, bullpen games have become an important piece of our winning strategy this postseason, and it's something that goes back a few years with the Dodgers. You might remember that we pitched a bullpen game in Game 4 of the NLDS against the Padres, and it went fantastically. That was an elimination game for the Dodgers, and our bullpen pitched a shutout. And in fact, it was the 25th bullpen game the Dodgers have used since the start of the 2022 season. And we've won 17 of those games. This is also an emblem of just where the game is at across baseball. In this postseason, relief pitchers have pitched more innings than starting pitchers have. Only one starter, Corbin Burnes of the Baltimore Orioles, pitched into the 8th inning in this postseason, and only 7 pitchers have completed 7 innings, including our own Jack Flaherty, who did it in Game 1 of this series. So it's both a trend across the game and a situation that the Dodgers are specifically in this season with their starting pitching rotation. Pitching a bullpen game is actually our best shot at winning this one and moving on to the World Series. The key is how manager Dave Roberts deploys his bullpen. If you listened to our last episode, you know some were critical of Dave Roberts managing in the last game of this series on Friday night. He left in a very ineffective Jack Flaherty, who gave up 8 runs in just 3 innings, when he could have brought in some of our dogs from the bullpen, the high-leverage guys like Michael Kopech, Blake Trinan, Daniel Hudson, and Evan Phillips to shut down the Mets' offense and stop the bleeding. The following is from DBD listener and lifelong fan of the Dodgers since the 1960s, Willie Aaron.
It's the night before Game 6 between the Dodgers and Mets in the NLCS. If I told you that I was absolutely confident that the Dodgers would pull out the victory, I would be lying through my teeth. Dave Roberts missed a golden opportunity to close the game out when in the bottom of the third inning, it was quite clear that Jack Flaherty didn't have it. And as a fan and defender of Doc over the years, I found that to be borderline egregious. I thought it was a bad message to send to the team and a bad message to send to the fans that, hey, we're essentially punting this game.
The silver lining of the questionable choices Dave Roberts made Friday night, since none of the Dowgs appeared in that game, all of the Dowgs are now well rested. And not only that, these Mets hitters have not really seen much of our Dowgs at all. None of our high-leverage relievers have pitched in this series since Game 4. That's in contrast to the Mets, who, facing elimination, used their best two relievers, Ryan Stanek and Edwin Diaz, to help secure their 12-6 victory in Game 5. And our lineup has seen Sean Manaea as recently as Monday several times. So let's hope, given this imbalance, that the Dodger bats can come to life and early on, and that our Dowgs can overpower the Mets hitters and send this Dodgers team to the World Series. That is today's Dodger Blue Dream. Dodger Blue Dream is written and produced by me, Richard Parks III. And I don't mean to get greedy, but delving into the history, the last time the Dodgers clinched the NL pennant and won the NLCS at home, it was 1988 against the Mets. And so thinking of 1988, one more thing to mention about this game today is that Freddie Freeman will not be in the lineup. He's gone 1 for 15 in this series, and it's clear that his ankle is bothering him. So he's going to get some rest. You could see a scenario where this situation sets Freddie up for his Kirk Gibson moment. A big pinch hit home run by a left-handed hitter, hobbling around the bases. I don't know, something to dream about. Also, Teo is due. He's gone 0 for 17 in this series. And since that super clutch grand slam in San Diego, it doesn't feel like he's doing much at the plate, which means it's his time to turn it on. Come on, Teo, you're so clutch. Andy Pages has been hot. Good to see that he's in the lineup. Those 2 homers the other night looked amazing. And hey, our boy, Chris Taylor, CT3, getting the start at second base and batting 9th. Let's get on base for Shohei, CT3. I'm gonna go light that candle. Ooh, and Michael Kopech is starting? I love that. Very aggressive. He's a dog. All right. Have a good game, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.